up, everybody? I'm Little Moment, and welcome to the Struggle Book Anime, the little show where we get to talk about how awesome or how shit some of your favorite anime characters are. Today, we're talking about Genryu Shigekuni Yamamoto. Damn, that was a mouthful. Not that I'm not used to my mouth being full.
Struggle book.
Okay, so who is this old ass anime dude exactly? Someone worthy of y'all's respect. Seriously, before we get into the video, guys, like, subscribe to the page, hit the little bell thingy, and all that goodness, because I'm trying my best here. First video. Okay. Yamamoto isn't the stereotypical, like, sweet old man or, like, heartless dickbag, alright? He's the leader of this magical, mystical, military organization that's been around for over 1,000 years, okay? In that 1,000 years, Yamamoto has always been regarded as the strongest Soul Reaper, without question, okay? Even Aizen, who is, like, infamous around the anime community. If you don't know who Yamamoto is, you do know who Aizen is. I'm just saying. Even Aizen was like, okay, no, you're stronger than me. Okay, I admit it. But I have a whole contingency plan for how to deal with you when he was doing his little war thing with the Karakura town. Need I say more? Alright, so roughly 1,000 years ago, Yamamoto got 12 Soul Reapers together in order to create the very first generation of the 13 Court Guard Squad captains. And like, we're not talking about like some easy hitters, like Yamamoto, insanely strong. We know that for a fact. The leader of the Shihoin clan, we know that they're badasses. Uno Hana, who was running around just carving people up like fucking Thanksgiving turkeys. We don't know anything about any of the other ones, any of the other captains. But one day when the Hell Arc comes back, eventually, maybe we'll learn a little bit more because they were called the strongest generation of captains in the history of the Soul Society. So Yamamoto was able to gather all of them under one banner and just be like, yeah, I'm stronger than all of y'all. If y'all get it online, like, I got this. He held this position for over 1,000 years, okay? And this was pretty much uncontested. Like, end of series Ichigo, sure, but he only became a Soul Reaper in the final season. He could take him, obviously. Aizen, by the end of the series, probably stronger than Yamamoto, but no one would ever be like, oh yes, he needs to be the head captain, absolutely. Other than that, like, Ichibe is probably stronger. That's about it. So we talked about how like hypothetically strong he is, but what can he actually like do though? Well, it's kind of a lot. Like, it's kind of insane. You don't get a resume being like, oh, I'm over 2,000 years old. I've been the strongest for 1,000 years without some kind of crazy ass fucking resume. Let's start with his Ryatsu. Nothing else. Just a spiritual pressure. By staring at a lieutenant level Soul Reaper, and we're talking about Nanao here, so I mean, you know, take it or leave it as you will. Regardless, she's a lieutenant, okay? If you read the manga, she was like foaming at the mouth and shit. Like, her captain, Shinsui Kyoraku, had to literally take her flash step away, and she was like panting for breath and everything. And he's like, ah, damn, I shouldn't have brought you here. This was just by Yamamoto staring at her. Then Yamamoto went on to fight two of the strongest captains that were in the Gote at the time, Ukitake and Kyoraku. So this man is like, okay, if you're lieutenant level, basically if you're lower than a captain, he can kill you with just a spiritual pressure. Nothing else. Easy peasy. One shot. That's it. He can also manhandle really high level characters as well. Aizen made his perfect counter in Wonder Weiss. Wonder Weiss, when he released his Zanpakuto, was able to take all of his Shikai abilities and like, that's it. No more using them. Yamamoto two-shotted him, punched him twice, ended him. He was like, I'm gonna use a Kido. It was a level 96 Kido. For reference, Aizen, the like level 90 Kuroitsugi spamming dude is like, oh yeah, anything 90 and above is like insanely hard to do. We haven't even talked about his Zanpakuto yet. Bear with me because there's a lot to cover here. Alright, so Yamamoto. His Zanpakuto disguises itself as a cane. He's an elderly man, he has a cane. You'd never be the wiser. Okay, with this cane, he's able to basically like go poke. Just poke at you. And when he was fighting Ion, bam, a hole through his whole chest. Ion was taking down, like, he was dropping lieutenant after lieutenant after lieutenant. Easy, no diff. Yamamoto comes over, pokes him with his cane, and it's like, what just happened? Why do I have like a hole through me? I mean, admittedly, Yamamoto did have to go and like actually slash him and use his Shikai ability by the end of it, but it was like really just a time saver. I have all these ways to end you, but he was just like, I just gotta hurry this up. When Yamamoto's ready to actually fight you, the cane that he has with him, it literally just like unwraps itself, and then you've got this basic looking katana. Like, it looks super ancient. It's just like a circular little guard, purple little thingy to grab on. It's not that impressive looking. When you hear this man say his Shikai release, reduce all creation to ashes, that is not verbal flair. That is like, gather all the gaze, cause like everything's burning down, everything's flaming. When this Giga Chad releases his Zanpakuto, there is just like a torrential tribute of flames everywhere. And then every time he swings his sword around, like, flames, 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 flames. Everything's on fire. Like, you're in that direction, I just swung my sword that way, oh, you're dead. Oh, it's over. Dunzo. This isn't any named techniques. This is just, I released my Zanpakuto. It is insanely strong. It is known as the strongest Zanpakuto in the series. And honestly, it probably is, minus Ichigo's at the end, but like, what does Ichigo's Zanpakuto actually do? Getsuga Tensho and then 2 Getsuga Tenshos. Tiamatsu is the name of his ability, where he swings his sword and like there's a torrent of flames that come by afterwards. He doesn't have to say this, it's literally just like an automatic ability, like, oh, I got my Zanpakuto and boom, it just does this now. This technique alone would be enough to body pretty much anybody. If that's not enough though, he also has, I'm gonna have to read this name because I'm not gonna be able to get it. Okay, the first one's not that bad. Jokaku Enjo, which is basically a cage of flames, like it's called like Flame Fortress Blade or something like that. Basically, he was able to use this, and it was like this like snake of fire, like shot down, and then boom, it looked like a fucking forest fire in the sky. It captured 3 captain level opponents all at once. Now granted, it was Aizen, Gin, and Tozen, and Aizen probably could have got out on his own. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna dispute that. It's Aizen, he probably could have. But Gin and Tozen, I don't think they were getting out of there unless Yamamoto was just like, yeah, you guys are free to go. Aizen probably could have got out of that, but honestly, during the fake Karakura Town arc, I don't even know if Kubo really knew how strong he wanted to make Aizen. Okay, the only other named flaming technique that Yamamoto uses is known as Inetsu Jigoku. Basically, it takes a little bit of setup, but pretty much he runs around the battlefield setting these traps, pretty much. And whenever he activates it, these giant, like, flaming hell pillars just, like, go up into the sky. And I think there was, like, 7 or 8 of them whenever he used it. It was gonna pretty much destroy all of fake Karakura Town. Like, the flames all come up, and then they're supposed to converge in on, like, one point, and then it's like, boom, that's it, you're done. The only reason that this technique did not work is because that's when Aizen was like, oh, I have Wonder Weiss to control all the flames. And then when Yamamoto 2-shotted him, the flames were like about to bust out, and Yamamoto was like, oh shit, I gotta stop this. So he like came over and like, you know, gave it like a good old bear hug, contained the whole explosion, but it still looked like the fucking Saiyans had came back to Earth or some shit. And like Yamamoto was like burnt to a crisp, like he had sat in the sun literally all day long, like he was crispy. But the only thing he left had in him was to use like one final keto, and he had to wait for Aizen to get like within arm's reach before he blew up his arm. Bankai. During the Soul Society arc, it's basically described as like this legendary power-up that like only the highest of the high characters can do. But you want to know whose power is actually legendary? Yamamoto. Like I said, this guy is the founder of the Gotei 13th Court Guard Squads. He's the strongest one. Obviously, he has Bankai. The only captain that did not have Bankai whenever they became a captain was Kenpachi, and there was a whole side plot with that. That's in a future video, we'll get to that eventually. So his Shikai releases just a fuckload of fire. Like there's fire here, fire there, fire above you, fire below you. There's just like everything fucking on fire. Well, how is his Bankai supposed to one up that? Well, it takes all of those flames that are everywhere and it condenses them down just to the blade. Not even just the blade, the tip of the blade. Apparently 1,000 years ago, it was the whole sword. But after another 1,000 years, Yamamoto was able to refine it to the point where it's literally just the very edge of his sword, okay? Like, you look at his sword and it's like this charred ass, like gonna break as soon as you touch the damn thing piece of. But then if you look at the edge, it's just like this bright white thing. I want you to picture the sun. The sun is like insanely huge. It's able to warm our planet from however many millions, thousands, hundreds, quadrillions light years away or whatever. I want you to picture that it's 20 feet in front of you. Okay, so basically his Zanpakuto pretty much summons a literal sun around himself. So it's like, okay, everything is burning. Everything's getting burnt to a crisp. Whenever this man swings his sword, literally it just shuts everything out of existence. Like he goes to swing it, boom, done. Like you go to hit him, whew, nothing. I can't. His Bankai is so fucking overpowered, it's insane that he's still somehow lost. So yeah, not only does this guy have attacks that literally just erase everything out of existence, but then if you go to attack him, have you tried to attack the sun before? Have they done like experiments on this or anything? You can't. Everything melts before it touches it. You know who's a sun? Yamamoto. You go to swing your damn sword at him, guess what? Your sword's disintegrated. You go to launch an attack at him, boom, it's not gonna ever touch him. So everything he touches gets absolutely destroyed. You can't touch him. Okay, so the Soul Society is obviously way more durable than like the human world would be, because if this man used Bankai IRL, rip to the whole planet. The Soul Society is a magical place, obviously, so like it's able to handle, you know, the abuse of his Bankai for a while, but it's like all the water in the air, gone. Lips chapped, flowers burnt. Literally the whole society was on the verge of absolute fucking collapse if he wouldn't have like, you know, deactivated or whatever whenever he was fighting Yuha. Like even Unohana, who's known him for over 1,000 years, was like, you better hurry this up. I told myself I wasn't gonna say this one. I can't. It's too cool not to talk about. I can't not do it. Okay, so he erases everything from existence that he swings at. He has a sun armor that you know, can't pierce. How do you one up that? You summon millions of charred skeletons from the dead. Let me just try to say this name. Let me get my old man voice. Minami Kakajuma no Kushi Daisojin. Is that good? Is it good? Okay, cool. So yeah, the people he's ended in his 2+ millennium career all come back as charred skeletons. Like, they're not super durable, but when you have like, I think the actual like the translated name is like something like 1 trillion or something charred skeletons. Well, you try having 1 trillion fucking roaches coming at you, you can't do nothing. They're gonna keep coming at you. Like, there's nothing you can do about this. It was such a cool attack, which makes his final attack honestly feel like such a letdown, because it's like, okay, so, you know, we went over your first ability, your second ability, and you summon all these like metal ass skeletons, and then his final attack is a swing. Just a sword swing. That's it. Like, I mean, it's cool. Like, the anime tried to do it some justice, but like, I remember reading the manga, it's just like kanji, 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 kanji in the sword swing. And it doesn't even like look that impressive, because like when he goes to use it on Yuha, it's like, it didn't even cut him all the way through. Like, it was just like, most of the way, but not quite. And I get it, you know, when he was hitting the damn ground versus hitting, you know, the end of series bad guy, obviously one of them's gonna be more durable than the other one. But it's like, I mean, come on. All right, so in conclusion, basically Yamamoto is one of the strongest characters in the entire series. No questions asked, okay? When Kubo decided to end him, it hurt, and like you could see like the defeat in his face. Like it was heart-wrenching, honestly. But I mean, his swan song was actually like super brilliant. He had a ton of really cool abilities, but you knew he was gonna die, because it was like, one chapter, oh, here's my first ability, second chapter, here's my other ability, third chapter, fourth chapter. It's like, yeah, you're gonna die. That's sad. And I mean, it set the arc off really well, you know, like, because it kind of established, like, okay, like these guys are like a serious fucking threat. Like, how do you get to that level of power in the series? But yeah, I'm not gonna talk about it for too long. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna say we're good there. If you happen to have any questions, go ahead, let me know down in the comments. This is my first one of these. Like, I don't really know what I'm doing. So if you have any feedback, go ahead and drop it in a comment. I am looking forward to hearing from you guys. But just to let you know that this is going to be a little series that I'm trying out. So I'm going to be starting with Squad 1, obviously, like I did today. Next time we're talking about Squad 2, preferably my favorite Squad 2 captain, the Goddess of Flash, the cat mommy herself, Yoroichi. I cannot wait to put that video together. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Okay, Johnny!